Well, good morning everyone, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening, 2nd of September, so start of that monthly update for you. Looks lovely and sunny in this view, but it looks like it's going to be chucking down pretty soon. Very windy, so let's turn the camera around and try and get through this before the rain hits. Right, so I wanted to do probably a bit of a longer one than I have done of late, just because it is that September video and transition time really. So we transition from being into the typical UK summer period to now being technically, well, meteorologically, autumn. And with autumn comes the development and ripening, or should be ripening, of squash, and you know, things like the pumpkins, and you get the flowering points and things like that. So got a hell of a lot of growth on the butternut squash there, but the actual fruits are kind of hidden under some of this lot. And well, you can also see what a mess the mole is making down there. So typically this time of year, what you start doing is having a bit of a cutback to allow more sunlight to get to the squashes, to allow them to ripen. And especially when we've had weather like we've had the last couple of weeks, where we've gone from being really quite hot and dry to then a few downpours and sitting colder, sitting wetter, and the wind as well. So you can see exactly what effect that is having on the squash. So we've had this the splitting of the skin, which is where they've gone into quick expansion of growth once the rain hit. So the plants are able to take up a load more moisture. Now they're sitting a little bit on the wet side, and so it's very important to then start cutting away some of the top foliage to allow the squash to fully ripen and dry out, because without that drying out, they're not going to store at all over winter, and you might as well just chuck them on the compost heap now. So that's kind of what I've started doing down here. You can now see that this is thinned out, certainly a lot more than what it was on the last video. You can see that everything is falling over, you know, like that dahlia Kilworth Glow, absolutely being crucified by the wind. So yeah, we'll sort of work our way through. So the leek bed, generally the leeks are looking pretty good. I cut down the coralic tomato because, again, that was another one that had collapsed and just swamped everything. These tomatoes still absolutely stack loads of fruit on there. We've harvested a lot, but you can see still putting a lot of downward pressure on these supports. So next year going to have to do the supports differently on this bed, if I grow on this bed, and create more like this frame here, and even this frame here where I didn't put in the intermediate post. You can see that it's got a real sag on it. So yeah, certainly harvesting quite a lot of the tomatoes. Celeriac, the odd ones in there, still doing their thing. The beetroot, again, where we've suddenly had a bit of rain, look at the growth. They've gone from looking really quite mediocre to now, well, I don't know, not basketball, baseball type size. At the weekend, just planted a bit more pak choi into here, so see whether they survive now that the flea beetle's gone. Carrots, which, having only eaten one carrot myself this year, the rabbits seem to have found them and they're eating the foliage. But let's see what I mean, it's a good size, just needs cleaning, but yeah, good size. See where it's got the bend on the base, that's because it's obviously hit the more compact sole towards the base, but that's a good size, happy with that. More beetroot, just leave that down there. This one, proper size on that. Then we've got the main crop potatoes, which are now starting to yellow, die back properly because we are into September, which is the typical harvesting period. Got some more of the seedling dahlias showing colour. Actually, that one's not too terrible, that's all right, but that is bloody awful. So that's definitely a plant potentially that I won't be growing. Again, as I say, these are grown from seeds that were given to me. So that was the first flower that came out at the weekend. There's some other buds on the same plant, so I'll see what the other buds do before totally dismissing that plant. Again, that's not too bad. That's come out since the weekend as well. Nice coloration. Not necessarily one for me, but celery is looking really quite nice. Again, everything's just perked up with these last couple of days worth of rain. The spring onions looking good. The carrots, well, again, they've been gnawed. More beetroot. Beans got basically chewed down to nothing, so they'll be coming out. The radishes, I've grubbed them out because they succumb to flea beetle. This is the self-blanching celery. That one is the green Utah. Then a mixture of kohlrabi and the perennial cabbage, kale in that. It's all wants tidying up. Dahlia Pam Howden, that's how they should look. It's a load that have died back. I just haven't been over here that much, and when I have been, I've been sorting out the other dahlias for the show, so again, still haven't grubbed that out. Rhubarb, as you can see, there's loads of sections on it, but it's also going into kind of dieback mode, so I might pick a couple of bits of that, I don't know. This is the next section that needs sorting out. So these are the Egyptian walking onions, touched on those before. So they have kind of, well, they have finished doing their thing, and I'm quite happy, to be honest, just to get some additional bulbils, but really I need to lift those and think about properly where I'm going to be planting them, because they are, as you can see, getting swamped now by the rhubarb, and I need to prepare and sort out this bed as and when I get the opportunity. Saying that, I have done some seed sowing literally 5 minutes before starting this video, just because I've had some more seeds arrive in the post, most of which are seeds for sowing next year. However, I did buy some radish mooli seeds, which I've never grown before, and you can sow it now just about. So I thought I'd do a quick trench and see how they do, as it's an autumn, or you can do an autumn sowing of that and see how it progresses. These couple of dahlias still haven't done anything, so Westerton Ella Grace and Westerton Harry, not done anything as yet. I'm hoping that I'll get some flower this autumn, but we'll see. Fennel, got this one remaining plant. The others are really hacked back because they'd gone right the way over and were impacting everywhere, so they've been hard to prune back, and you can see just how much growth they're now putting on. So again, exactly as last year, I won't be growing those to eat, but these I'm going to be keeping these plants to overwinter and to provide some, well, early food for the the good pollinators. So that's something to watch. Now this bed is getting increasingly crowded, and Look how big these leaves are on the horseradish. Still haven't planted them. So here there's overspill on celery and tomatillos within there, which were the tomatillos that I dug out of another bed. This mess of foliage are the parsnips, so I'm really hoping that after all of this that there's some decent parsnips under there. And then this block here, well, these are all celeriac, which you can see that they're starting to make some crowns there. Certainly plenty of shoots, so I'll be quite interested to see how they do. These few plants here are still the overs on the leeks, and yeah, we've just been harvesting a few of those. And then Welsh onions, just to show you these, so literally cut these back about 10 days ago. They had all the old growth on there, all the old seed heads, absolutely full of rust. Cut them back and you can see they're shooting out quite nicely again, and you can now start harvesting all this foliage, eating that. There's a nice spring onion alternative, or just an onion leaf, and it's nice and clean, no rust, and going to be lovely and tasty. Again, a bit of rhubarb, cool, that's spicy as well. Gooseberry gone into absolute overdrive, as has the vine on the marrow. I've had to put this over the top because the birds have started pecking Hulk, as I named it. But oh, I've just seen that's no good. It's gone rotten. All that hard work and it's basically wrecked, gone rotten. So that's going to be no good. Bloody hell. Right, so that's going to have to cut off, and that's essentially done, dead. That's bloody annoying. Perpetual spinach looking really good, so you know, something's come out of that. Compost bin, so this, as you can see, is getting pretty full up. Mixture of dahlia, but absolutely loads of foliage and stems from the pumpkins and squash. Now, when you're doing your compost, you want to make sure you've got a nice mixture of sort of slightly woody stuff and leafy material. So having done a whole load of this over the compost bin, it was full up to about here over the weekend. Obviously you dropped down by a good amount. Then what I'm going to do over the top of this is I'm going to put some manure over the top, which would just add that extra bit of organic matter in, and it will help maintain the heat that is within this bed to allow and continue that decomposition. I've cut back the artichoke again because it had just, well, kind of got splayed apart with the high winds. One branch remains, just again left that on because it's still got some flowers on there which the pollinators will love. The carrot still kind of doing its thing, not sure how it's progressing, find out at some point. That's the butternut kind of Tromboncino cross, so that's been out here just ripening up. You can see it's got a lovely colour on it now. Asparagus over there, still to do anything with. These are the dahlias, so I've had quite a few of these off for the shows that we've had, and cut flower as well, but yeah, it's now that time of year where you got kind of, yeah, still picking off odd bits. Keep focused, keep feeding still, just to ensure that it gets some nice flowers for cut flower. So got Blight and Softer Gleam here. These are Rycroft Drill, which are yet to do anything, which is really quite annoying. Winome. Winham Diane. There, I knew it'd come to me, which is the yellow one there. The back three on this one should have been Winham Tracy, but only one of the plants has come out as that. The other two have been Tracy, so they were given to me. So yeah, I need to take a load of cutting off Tracy still. This amazing colour, which you can see some of these are going over. This is Barbary Surprise. This one here, again, there's a random one crept in the middle, but this is the one that we've named through work, which is Abercorn Sunrise. Then Kiwi Gloria. The Cornell of, well, that's Cornell. Sorry, Cornell Bronze. So it's just starting to pop, so that should be those. And then I should have Cornell in these beds, or these last three, which is that, but I can see that one's got mixed up, so it could well be that that Cornell Bronze should have potentially been one of them ones. And then really late to the party, just starting to get some coloured buds. That block there is Mary's Germander. Let me show you these. So we had our first watermelon at the weekend, which occupied that big old space there, and it weighed just under 2.2 kilos, and it was absolutely amazing. And you can see you got another one there, and there's another one there also. I'll try and open this without the wind catching it. Let's see. So I had to get in here the other day and just do a bit of tidying it up, because all the plants are kind of fallen over with the weight of the fruits. And you can see just how many fruits are ripening. Loads of fruit coming, absolutely stack loads. And yeah, the expensive, see the purple, let's step it in there, that one there, which again, ricotta long, which is the expensive seed that's meant to be hardier and a bit more unique. I've not got a single fruit formed on that as yet, and it's just produced flower, and yet it's a self-fertile just the same as the others, so really annoying on that. All the carrot is germinating quite nicely, need to give that a drink soon. Let's get this down before the cover gets ripped off. Absolutely loads of tomatoes on here, to the point where they're pulling the plant over. Loads of courgettes, so all the courgettes have really gone crazy since we got the rain this last week. Loads of those there. I've ripped out all the sweet corn. Sweet corn gone, manured over the top of the bed, so essentially is the no dig, manured over the top of the bed, and then I've just done a blanket inch of fresh compost over the top, just to add some goodness to it and to give me a nice finishing surface. Trying to work out what to do with this. I think I'm probably going to move the onions up to here for this autumn. So once these courgettes are done, I'll prep these ends up the same and probably run this out as onions. So again, you can see down here, been stripping back a lot of the growth, just trying to expose the fruits to allow them to fully ripen up what's on there. And you can see the stems here, they're starting to die back. We got the powdery mildew, which is the main reason I was cutting the foliage back, but it's trying to get that light to the fruits to allow them to ripen and not be like that one that has obviously sat wet and is now rotten. So that's the important thing this time of year. It's all about trying to preserve, I guess, the fruits that you've got. Otherwise, what you've been doing is all in vain. And you can see just taking that leaf off how much moisture's suddenly been sat on these fruits. These are the Queensland squash. So lovely fruits, loads of tomato. Now these are cut back, you can actually see the shape on some of these. So many different shapes and sizes, but equally quite a bit of tidying up to do, which I really need to get on and do. But look at the colour of this chard, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I've still got a bit of tidying up to do on here, not a lot, most of it's kind of sorted. Then we got this bed here, so these are, oh, it's just rolled off. I was going to show you. Where's it gone? These are tomatillos. These are meant to be the purple tomatillos, so they have this blush to them. So that's what they look like. And the ones that were up the top there is the plain green one. So this is ripe. Basically, once we get the flower, then kind of the husk forms but nothing in it. Then you can kind of feel that there's something in there as the next stage. Then you get it where it's like that, the papery outer with the fruit forming, and when they're ripe they literally just roll off the plant. So, and they're really good, as I say, for fresh salsa. So yeah, the wind has taken its toll on this frame. There's the big pumpkin, not as big as I'd hoped. We'll go around the other side, show you the marrow. So this is the giant marrow. At least it's intact, not like the other one. Be interested to see what that weighs, but as I say, it's all about now trying to preserve some of this stuff and stop it getting too wet. So you can see the amount of powdery mildew that's come onto this, even with me trying to spray using the bicarbonate. It's now just getting too wet to control it, basically. Still got these dahlias, the Abercorn sunrise dahlias, which they're going to be really late to flowering, but for me it's not going to be necessarily about the flowering for these. I just want to get them to be able to produce a tuber so we can do some propagation off it. Yeah, the field ridiculously dry, and as a consequence the rams had started eating everything, so again that kind of prompted a bit of a cutback. The wind has pulled all of the Jerusalem artichoke over, literally ripped it out of the planters. So that needs sorting out because they are now smothering the big pumpkins, and I don't want the pumpkins rotting. So I need to tackle that and cut this bed back as well, all the foliage back, and try and allow the fruits to dry. And then got this again, waiting for this to flower, which is blackjack, nice dark cactus type. So yeah, see how that does. And that really is it. And again, we got powdery mildew on the cucumber plant, but we've had absolutely loads of cucumbers from just these 3 small plants, which again has been really quite successful. Hadn't anticipated that they'd be so successful, but that's where we're at. And so that is the 2nd of September update. Absolutely loads still to get on with. It's, as I say, it's all about now making sure that your growing hasn't gone in vain, trying to preserve and protect those squash from succumbing to this colder, wetter weather that you now start getting in the autumn time. So plenty of jobs to get done, plenty of preparation to start thinking about, and that forward planning as to thinking about where to position different crops for next year, thinking about your crop rotation, and anticipating the creation or availability of bed space ready for autumn planting of garlic, onions, broad beans, shallots, and kind of anything else that you want to have a go at for a bit of autumn cropping. Again, don't forget that you can still do a bit more sowing at this time of year, so the quick growing stuff, so the baby carrots, you can still squeeze in another sowing of that, some radish, spring onions you can get away with, all the lettuces you can do as well, and start doing some autumn sowing of kale ready for next year. So plenty to have a look at still, plenty to think about, but certainly make the most of when it isn't raining and get a few of these preparation and housekeeping jobs done. So video done. If you've got any questions, then please send the questions to me. I'll do my best as always to answer them for you. If you've liked the video, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so don't miss out on future videos, and just, as I say, enjoy yourself, have fun, and make the most of the nice weather whilst it continues. So till next time, bye for now.